Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In my last one we spoke about the first episode of My Pride, the summary of it, and also what happened towards the end. I also spilled a little bit of beans on the second episode. In this video I'm going to be talking about in more detail of the second episode and also talking about the third episode, so double whammy here. Power Strike is now Hunt's chief while Sharp Tongue steps down due to illness. During a hunting ceremony, Power Strike also shows up Nothing with her name after assessing her strengths, quote unquote, and the Pride agrees, further shaming and embarrassing her. They all agree that she'll be called Nothing, which is very sad because Nothing is just the sat in shame, embarrassment. And then even during this, Sharp Tongue comes over and says, "You were very brave today," and calls her granddaughter, which is very sweet because you know that from that Sharp Tongue does care about her.
Granddaughter. I have a name now. It's Nothing. Didn't you hear?
You were very brave today. I need to be alone.
However, a prideless lioness is introduced later on, called Hover, and she finds her drinking at the watering hole, which is owned by the Pride, and Nothing goes over and says, "There's a crocodile in there, get out of the water." And Hover's like, "There's enough water for both of us." She's like, "I'm annoyed at you because you're a Pride lioness and you're getting all up in my shit." But Nothing explains why she's there and says that there was a crocodile in the water, and after that they're like, "Oh right, okay," and they get friendly, become friendly with her, and Hover has a witty humour about the Prides and a dislike towards them. She doesn't like the traditions and how they work. She's always saying that your stupid names and your weird ways. One of them was that when Nothing says a name, Hover laughs and says, "Oh, that is so mean." And it's quite sad, really, but Nothing finds fun in that because it is funny in a way, because you get this friendship blooming between two opposite sides of the pole. One who is brought up in a Pride and learns about their ways and traditions, while you get Hover, who's an outsider, who believes that she can name herself and self-proclaim an own name, which is Hover.
To be fair, you've got lousy competition. Pride lions are usually all toothy and bitey and, "Hey, get out of our territory!" But you... I like you. You're good.
You seem good too. Thanks.
And funnily enough, it does actually make sense because later on she does hover around the Pride and come over to Nothing to watch the sunset together every night while the others sleep in secret. And this is where Nothing says to her, "Why don't you join the Pride, because Sharp Tongue's ill and we need a bit of help." And Hover's like, "That's a bit strange, why are you asking me that?" And we get the idea that Hover doesn't want to join the Pride. She does care about Nothing, but she doesn't want to join the Pride due to her beliefs. My thoughts are that not a lot happened here. However, we do meet Hover and the Pride's cubs of Quickmane. Concern is there for Sharp Tongue and how malnourished she looks due to the illness and her demotion as Hunt's chief. The question is does she eat less than the others because of illness, or is the demotion causing her to eat less because of where she is? She is at the bottom of the hierarchy here because she's not hunting, she's not doing anything, she's not really moving much. She looks so malnourished and bony, skin and bones in the scene. So episode 3, we're on episode 3 now, and the scene opens up to Nothing having a strange dream running through the Valley of Green, where a white lion appears searching for, speaking of a cycle, and to hear the shift in place and how it calls and she must answer. Now, We have seen this white lion before in the first episode briefly after her fight with Quickman. She's knocked out unconscious, and that's where she wakes up in this valley. She runs through it and is like shocked and like looking around, what's going on, you know, and that's where she sees the white lion. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was Spark. I thought it was the afterlife, and I was like, whoa, what is she seeing? She's seeing ghosts now, you know. I thought the little baby was Spark, but in this dream, the white lion is now older because it was a cub when she first appeared in that place. So, a very interesting development there. And the shift in place, what is that, you know? Who is this white lion, and where is this place she keeps going to in her dreams?
Answer. It's the only way it will end.
Who are you?
Wake up!
Anyway, nothing confers to her like with Hover with what this all about, and Hover's like, joking like, is it a handsome lion, you know, things like that, and Nothing's like, oh no, it's not that kind of dream, but she still has it in the back of her mind anyway. This prompts a lot of questions about this place. Later that day, Power Strike updates the Pride on what's going on, who's going out on hunts, and no man's in the area. Quickman says that he's smelt some scents about some breach going towards the border, so he's going to start doing patrols there so they don't breach it. And it's decided that Nothing and Sharptongue remain behind to babysit the cubs while the others go and hunt. Christ knows what Quickman's doing. He's probably lounging around somewhere chilling, but he did say that he was going to go towards the border and check for that. It's here that we meet Feather, who is just brilliant. He's one of my favourite characters, I must say.
Can you tell us the story about how you scratched up my dad's face again?
No, Feather. I got in a lot of trouble for telling you that story the first time.
But it was so cool! You were so small, and he was so big, and you went all "Rah!" And he was like, "Ah, my eye!"
And he expressed interest in Nothing's fight with Quickman. A soft reminder of her abilities way before all this. So we do know that she's quite strong and that she can do her own thing. But even despite this, she's still called Nothing, as we all know. It's then that Sharptongue begins telling the cubs a story of how Suns destroyed and burned the Emerald Valley. Now, as we know, Suns is the sun goddess, so fire's definitely there. It's spoken that she burns the Emerald Valley, and then before anything is told, Sharptongue starts coughing and it's interrupted. The story gets stopped and Nothing's like, oh, someone help, you know. And it's then discovered that she's died in the next scene. She's died in the next scene, and all the other Pride Lionesses are gathered around her body to essentially give her a sending off, which is where they roar up to the sky, and they believe that's when Azura, the other goddess, comes down to take her spirit and join with her in the sky, which is very interesting because in The Lion King, that's actually spoken about as well, where all the stars in the sky are all the lions that have died and passed on. And I like how it's kind of taken that little idea and brought it into this story as well, because it is plausible that they could think that, but, you know, they are lions after all. The scene cuts to the elder lion's funeral, where it's apparent Azura, the moon goddess, is responsible for guiding spirits of the dead. Hover appears and agrees to join the Pride to help Nothing, and in turn join the Pride. The episode ends with Hover saying, I'll join your Pride, and she comes over to Power Strike while she's still mourning, and Nothing asks her, I've got someone here who can join the Pride and help. And Power Strike's like, I was wondering that she'd get better, you know, she'd get better and she'd be alright. But, you know, she stops talking because she's still grieving over her mother. And then Nothing tries to console her and says, I miss her too, you know, and tries to touch her and give her comfort. But Power Strike's like, don't touch me, you know. She doesn't want to be pitied or touched or seen as weak to anyone, and that is seen, and Nothing is scared of that. She's like, whoa, chill out, you know. And then Quickman is like, she told you to leave her alone, So they're very dismissive of Hover at first, but Empire Strike says, do you have faith in this lioness? And Nothing says, yes, absolutely. So she says, alright then, we'll give her a chance. She just has to pass a hunting assessment, and we'll do it tomorrow at the Sun's eyes highest, which is noon, I would say, because it's where the sun is the highest in the sky. During the end of the episode, it's discovered that Hover joins because she cares about Nothing, and she wants to be there for her personally. So this shows development that she has more than friendship feelings down there. So at the end of the episode, she goes, are you joining me? And Nothing goes, I'm so glad you'll be able to join the Pride, but is this what you want? And Hover's like, yeah, of course. But you can see that she's not hesitating, but she doesn't want to join because it'll be stripping herself of her name. As you know, if you join a Pride, you need to do the hunting assessment and then get a name based on your skills. So she will no longer be Hover. She'll be a name that the Pride give her. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the idea of stripping her name, which is in turn stripping her identity, and becoming someone new to join the Pride, but to be with Nothing. So we get a bit of idea that she's sacrificing quite a lot of her identity to be with the person she cares about. And that's where the episode ends, with that in mind, and with Nothing saying, if I knew how much she was giving up about herself, I wouldn't have let her do it. So that's the end of the episode. If you enjoy this episode, please like, comment what you think of it, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing episode 4 and 5 next. Please stay tuned, and goodbye.